For the first time in nearly 100 years, a total solar eclipse will stretch across the entire U.S. Now, some places will have better viewing than others, but no matter where you are, you'll experience at least a partial eclipse August 21st, just about 2 weeks from now. And as you have likely heard, it's important to protect your eyes while you watch. As demand for special eclipse glasses is skyrocketing, scammers are taking advantage. Be sure to look for glasses with an ISO icon and make sure you can clearly see the manufacturer's name. You can go to nasa.gov, click on Eclipse 2017. You'll find a list of approved retailers where you can buy safe glasses there. Or you can get them free from KXLY4 and our sponsors. KXLY4's Drew Reeves joins us now with our solar eclipse coverage and why these glasses are so important. Drew?
Yeah, you know, we learn at a young age that looking at a solar eclipse is damaging to your eyesight, but do you actually know why? We set out today to find some answers. We visited the Spokane eye clinic behind me, which has partnered with KXLY to hand out these free solar eclipse sunglasses.
It's a rare phenomenon and one Americans will be eager to see.
I think it's going to be great. It's, going to be a fun time.
On August 21st, the sun will go dark as we experience a total solar eclipse. Naturally, your eyes will turn to the skies when this happens, but without the right protection, you could do permanent damage.
Even with just a few seconds of exposure, there will be damage. Sometimes the vision can recover from that, but that doesn't always happen there.
During a solar eclipse, damaging light rays can enter your eyes and reach the part of your retina which allows you to do everyday activities.
I mean, you imagine everything you do every day, from looking at your cell phone to working on a computer to driving. Without that central vision, you become so much more dependent on everyone around you.
Oh my goodness!
That's why we've partnered with several eye clinics, handing out solar eclipse glasses that can protect you from any damage in ways sunglasses and other eyewear can't. Doctors say it's important that if you do wear eclipse glasses, they are approved with an ISO stamp.
Well, KXLY4 solar eclipse coverage with an important safety warning tonight. As most of you know, looking at the sun during an eclipse can cause lasting damage to your eyes. That's unless you have the proper eyewear. And right now we are giving away special glasses for free, thanks to a partnership that we have with several of our local sponsors. KXLY4's Drew Reeves is at the Spokane Eye Clinic, one of the distribution locations, to find out why those glasses are so important. Drew?
Yeah, that eclipse is going to happen August 21st, and naturally you're going to want to look up to take a look at it. But during an eclipse, damaging light rays can enter your eyes, even causing blindness. That's where these glasses come in. Those light rays can enter the part of your retina, which is responsible for focusing on everyday activities like looking at your phone or a computer, even driving. Without that central vision, you would become very dependent on anyone around you. So, eye clinics are handing out solar eclipse glasses, which protect your eyes in ways sunglasses and other eyewear cannot. And if you want to grab a picture of the eclipse without the right filters, even on your phone, that can be just as damaging.
Sometimes these optical devices can actually focus the energy and the light from the sun and damage the glasses and penetrate through.
And if you do wear those eclipse glasses, make sure they are certified with an ISO stamp. But if there's any damage to the lenses, get rid of them. And as your kids try to catch a glimpse, monitor that they are wearing the glasses correctly. We've partnered with several eye clinics around the area to make sure you get the glasses that you need. Those eclipse glasses can be picked up at several locations around Spokane and North Idaho. For a list of those locations, head to our website, KXLY.com. Check the special features section for a link to our special solar eclipse page. It's on the right side of the page, and be sure to pick those glasses up before they run out, because another eclipse like this won't happen for nearly another 30 years. Reporting in Spokane, Drew Reeves, KXLY4 News.
Thanks, Drew. Well, on August 21st, the moon will completely eclipse the sun for the first time since 1918. The sun will completely disappear in 14 states across the U.S. Unfortunately, Washington is not one of them, but we will see a partial eclipse. And whether you're here or you're headed somewhere else to be in the direct path of the eclipse, you're going to need a pair of, where'd they go? These, the ones we were wearing earlier in the show. These glasses to view it. Our Drew Reeves explains, though, that those aren't going to be be so easy to find, Drew?
Yeah, those glasses were flying off the shelves after we delivered them yesterday. This morning, people were lining up at the Spokane Eye Clinic to get a pair, and unfortunately, more won't be available until sometime next week. But if you haven't picked up a pair of glasses yet, you're not totally out of luck. The library has been educating children about the eclipse through this classes this summer, and their final class is Friday. Every child who attends will get a pair of free glasses, and the library will be giving out what is left over to the public. The Eastern Washington University Astronomy Club is also very eager to hold an eclipse viewing party out on Roos Field. They'll be selling eclipse glasses there for just $1.
We can accommodate anything from a small group to a lot of people.
Lots of people are really just incredibly interested in this now. They know that there's a place where they can come to view it.
The Astronomy Club was just formed last year and is excited to get their name out. They will also be selling snacks and water. Now, the eclipse will begin around 9:10, and the maximum eclipse for our area will be sometime just before 10:30. But unfortunately for now, those free eclipse glasses, well, they're out of stock. Reporting on the sky deck, Drew Reeves, KXLY 4 News.
Ordering some more, though, so hopefully by next week. All right, thank you, Drew. We are less than 2 weeks away from that total solar eclipse that will stretch across the U.S. So many people gearing up for the big event that we won't see the total eclipse here, but we will get around 90% coverage of the sun. KXLY4's Drew Reeves has been talking to local groups to see how they are preparing. And Drew, a lot going on around the city.
Oh, yeah, there certainly is. If you're still looking for a place to watch that eclipse, you've got plenty of choices, including down on Roos Field. But if you don't have your eclipse glasses yet, they might be a little hard to find, and you might have to wait a little longer.
We've already got 2 patients waiting for that.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
When we announced we had partnered with several local businesses to distribute free eclipse glasses, no one could have predicted the outcome.
They were gone probably within 3 hours.
Now, you'll be hard-pressed to find a pair of free glasses anywhere around the city.
But we had plenty of people just walking in saying they had seen the news the night before and wanted to come get their free glasses.
You're not out of luck, though. We plan on restocking those glasses next week. But even on the day of the eclipse, you can still find pairs available. At Eastern Washington University, you can watch with the Astronomy Club out on Roos Field.
We can accommodate anything from a small group to a lot of people.
They'll be selling those glasses for just $1, as well as providing a view that you likely won't get anywhere else.
We will have 2, possibly 3 telescopes up, all with filters on it that you can safely view the sun.
It's a big chance for the group that was only formed a year ago to get their name out.
We just want to make it a big event for the community to come together for a very unique astronomical experience.
And at the Spokane Public Library downtown, this Friday will be the last chance for your child to learn what the eclipse is all about and learn how to safely look at the sun.
So they'll use used cereal boxes to make eclipse viewers so they can view safely. And then also we're handing out eclipse glasses to attendees of the program also.
It will be a learning experience for many who have never seen a total eclipse, an opportunity that has much of the country in a frenzy.
It's throughout the city of Spokane, a lot of excitement around the solar eclipse.
And if you want something a little fancier, the Coeur d'Alene Resort is offering an eclipse brunch. You can enjoy a meal, live music, and watch the eclipse from the resort. And again, those eclipse glasses are expected to be restocked sometime early next week. Reporting live, Drew Reeves, KXLY 4 News.
All right, thank you, Drew.
It is 5 minutes before 6. You know, on August 21st, the moon will completely eclipse the sun for the first time for us since 1918.
Yeah, the sun will completely disappear in 14 states across the U.S. Now, unfortunately, Washington is not one of them, but we will see a partial eclipse, and you'll still want to protect your eyes. KXLY4's Katie Kerr's in the studio. And Katie, those special glasses people need to wear are going fast.
Derek, those special viewing glasses flew off the shelves after we delivered them to Spokane Eye Clinic on Tuesday. And then yesterday morning, customers were actually lining up outside the clinic to get their free pair. And more won't be available until sometime next week now. But if you haven't picked up a pair of glasses yet, you're not totally out of luck. The downtown Spokane Library has been educating children about the eclipse through classes this summer, and their final class is this Friday. Every child who attends will get a pair of free glasses, and the library will be actually giving away what's left over to the public. The Eastern Washington University Astronomy Club is also very eager to hold an eclipse viewing party out on Roos Field. They'll be selling eclipse glasses for just $1.
Sure, we can accommodate anything from a small group to a lot of people.
Lots of people are really just incredibly interested in this now. They know that there's a place where they can come to view it.
The Astronomy Club was just formed this year, so they're excited to get their name out there, but they'll also be selling snacks and water at their viewing party. Now, the eclipse will begin around 9:10 in the morning on the 21st and will reach maximum eclipse shortly before 10:30.
Yeah. It's going to be cool.
Yeah,
It's really
it is.
cool.
What kind of snacks you sell out there? Isn't that interesting that I go right there to the
Milky Ways? Milky Ways?
Milky Ways.
Oh.
Very nice. All right, the eclipse is less than 2 weeks away, and getting your hands on a pair of Eclipse glasses is not going to be so easy. We team with local sponsors to hand out those glasses for free.
But within hours, they were gone. And we're not totally out of luck, though. Well, you're not either. The library is offering free glasses at their final solar eclipse class for kids this Friday at 2. And the EWU Astronomy Club will be offering them for $1 the day of the event out at Roos Field. We will be restocking our supply of free glasses next week, but those will likely go quickly again when that happens. So get them where you can.
That's right. Just make sure you get them. You're going to look at that eclipse. Coming up next, Mark with your final check of the weather.
Awesome. Well, you know, the countdown is on for what's being called the Great American Eclipse. NASA says it will be viewed by more people than any other celestial event in history. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is in Los Angeles with what makes this eclipse so special and what to expect.
For most, it is a once-in-a-lifetime event, a total solar eclipse crossing the U.S. from coast to coast for the first time in nearly a century.
I'm really excited about it.
On August 21st, people in every part of the country will be able to see at least a partial eclipse, but the real celestial show, the total eclipse, will pass from Oregon to South Carolina, with cities and towns in that path ready for record crowds.
Our hotels and Airbnbs, everybody is at capacity.
This is absolutely amazing.
There it is.
It is a big change from the last time a total solar eclipse happened in the mainland United States in 1979.
There was no fuss, just no fuss. It was just another day. Nobody was excited that time.
But Dr. Ed Krupp, the director of the Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles, says it is about time people got excited. He's traveled the world to see 14 total solar eclipses and says it is an unforgettable experience watching the moon move between the sun and the earth.
When it goes total, it's like someone has switched a light switch. The sun goes black completely. You see flame-like structures around the edge of the sun.
For those within the approximately 70-mile wide path where the total eclipse will be visible, it'll happen fast, lasting the longest near Carbondale, Illinois, where the sun will be covered for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And no matter where you're viewing the eclipse, Krupp and other experts say it is critical that you wear official eclipse glasses. Sunglasses won't do enough to protect your eyes. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And KXLY and the Spokane Eye Clinic working for you to make sure you are ready for the eclipse. You can get official glasses at any of these locations, including right here at the KXLY studios. And as we mentioned later on today, though, we don't have them until afternoon. For a complete list of locations, go to KXLY.com.
This time, it's a total solar eclipse, and folks everywhere have caught eclipse fever. Our Hawk Hammer spoke with folks from all over Spokane who just couldn't find glasses for the big celestial event. Hawk?
And Nadine, just as it was back in 1979, it's the same now. You can't just look at a solar eclipse with your naked eye. You need to have protection, and the most popular way is solar eclipse glasses. But if you haven't gotten them yet, you might be out of luck.
Checked everywhere, nobody has them.
Hours in line.
A little over 2 hours.
All for one thing.
Got to make sure we have the proper eyewear.
So that a potentially once-in-a-lifetime event is memorable only in the most positive of ways. Even though it might be covered up by the moon, if you look at the sun without protection, you could cause irreparable damage. With that knowledge, it's been an all-out rush to find the right glasses.
We've gone to Fred Meyer, Walmart, Kmart. We went to everywhere. Nobody has them.
Especially at Spokane Eye Clinic, which partnered with KXLY to hand out thousands of glasses over the past week.
Oh gosh, we've had 1,000 incoming calls just today.
And an all-out rush to manufacture them. Fakes have been flooding the market, leading to widespread recalls. In case you did buy solar eclipse glasses and aren't sure if they're the real deal, it should say it's certified by the ISO at a level that's thousands of times darker than normal sunglasses. To check, the American Astronomical Society says if you can look through the solar eclipse glasses and see a lamp or regular light, they're probably not safe for using. They also want to caution against using welding masks. They say if you do, it needs to be at a shade of 12 or higher. But for a celestial event like none other,
We keep every 5 minutes praying that, the truck just drives up.
patience for the proper protection, well worth it. And now for those who went the welding mask route, we're told stores that carry them around at Spokane are already low on stock. Here at KXLY, we handed out thousands of glasses, and hate to say it, we're all out and can't get any more from our supplier. There are other ways of safely viewing the eclipse, though, but bottom line, do your research. Reporting live, I'm Hawkhammer, KXLY 4 News.
Oh, it went like hotcakes. What options you have to enjoy this astronomical phenomenon, Drew?
Yeah, these options may not be your first choice, but if you've waited this long to get your solar eclipse glasses, you don't really have a whole lot of other options. Now, today I went down to the Spokane Eye Clinic to see just what options are available to you. The first choice might be a little reminiscent of your childhood. You can make your own pinhole viewer. This requires very simple materials like a cereal box and tape and scissors. Could also be a fun project to do as a family, and you can enjoy watching the eclipse that way. And if you're a welder, good news. Welding masks with a rating of level 12 are said to be safe to watch the sun. You could try ordering some last-minute glasses online too, but you'll need a plan B even then.
I think they're egregiously expensive. You'd have to probably pay a FedEx overnight type of delivery charge, and then maybe even then no guarantee.
NASA says it will also be tracking the eclipse, so if you want to watch online, you can do so that way. Just remember that whatever you choose, safety is key. Keep those glasses on during the entire event and don't look into the sun without them. Now, we've also received some emails from people wondering if their pets will be safe during the eclipse. Local vets told me today that you have no worry about your dogs or cats or other animals trying to look up into the sun during the eclipse. Reporting on the sky deck, Drew Reeves, KXLY 4 News.
KXLY 4 News coverage of the solar eclipse is brought to you by Spokane Eye Clinic.
If you are looking for eclipse glasses, you're going to have a tough time finding any at this point. They have sold out pretty much everywhere. You can still get in on the fun, though. It just might require a little creativity. KXLY 4's Drew Reeves has continuing eclipse coverage for us. He's joining us now with some ways to watch the event without the glasses. And we want to hear this, Drew. A lot of people do.
Yeah, there are still some options out there. In fact, you can spend time bringing the family together while enjoying the biggest astronomical event to happen in nearly 40 years.
The eclipse will be the can't-miss event of 2017. And just because you don't have a pair of eclipse glasses doesn't mean you have to miss it. Know a welder? They could come in handy.
It's our understanding a welder's mask with a level 12 rating is also safe for viewing the eclipse.
NASA also plans to follow the eclipse live. However, your best bet will involve some arts and crafts. You can easily find YouTube videos and articles that show you step by step how to create a pinhole viewer.
And it requires the use of real simple supplies. It'd be a really fun craft project to do with kids.
Safety is the most important thing when watching the solar eclipse with your kids. One family member you don't have to worry about, though, your furry friends. Several emails to the KXLY newsroom have been asking us how to protect your pet's eyes, but vets say that shouldn't be a concern.
Dogs and cats are really not going to be up looking at the sun like we are. They don't have any interest in that.
That doesn't mean, though, you shouldn't keep a close eye on your pets.
The greater risk is really not the eclipse, but whether the dog gets frightened or overly excited and then runs away or gets into a fight.
So you don't have to worry about glasses for your dogs, but if you're still adamant on getting some for yourself, you can try ordering them online. Just have a plan B.
I think they're egregiously expensive. You'd have to probably pay a FedEx overnight type of delivery charge, and then maybe even then no guarantee.
Are not safe.
And if you want to find instructions on how to make one of those pinhole viewers, you can just look for this story on KXLY.com. Reporting on the sky deck, Drew Reeves, KXLY 4 News.
All right, thank you, Chris.
KXLY 4 News coverage of the solar eclipse is brought to you by Spokane Eye Clinic.
Well, we have been inundated with calls from viewers who are trying to snag those solar eclipse glasses. We are completely out, but we do know another way that you can get your hands on some. Silverwood Theme Park is handing them out for free on Monday to the first 200 guests through the gate. Another 3,000 will be available at $6 each. Portion of the North Idaho Park will be open early, so you can put out a blanket on the lawn and watch the historic event. And then after that, Silverwood is open for business as usual.
That's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to ride a roller coaster with a partial eclipse. So at 11 o'clock, like normal, we'll open up our gates and go on water slides, roller coasters, and have a great day out of the park.
And the park says they'll even have breakfast food and coffee available for solar eclipse watchers. A great American eclipse just 3 days away. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Nadine Woodward. While the countdown is getting shorter, the anticipation is only growing. The eclipse will only last a few minutes on Monday morning. It happens when there is precise alignment between the sun, moon, and the earth. And the path of totality, where the moon will completely cover the sun, is only about 70 miles wide. So what will it be like to experience it? A NASA scientist explains.
So the moon is blocking out the sun's light, and that impacts us here on Earth. As the sun's light is being blocked, that means the temperature is going to be cooling a little bit. Especially if you're in the path of totality, you will notice it getting cooler. It gets darker, of course. If you are here, again, in the path of totality, it'll seem like it's nighttime. It's going to look like a moonlit night.
And while Spokane is not in this path of totality, we will see about 90% of the event. That means that you'll need a pair of solar eclipse glasses to safely watch it. They are, of course, in short supply, but we found a few extra pairs this morning. So KXLY4's Jack Ferris, working for you, reached out on social media to those who really needed a pair. And Jack, you had to have been pretty popular today.
Yeah, you could say that, Nadine. It was a real tough assignment handing out these bad boys all over town. To be honest, we had such an amazing response on social media. I just tried my best not to mess it up. Play it cool, man. Play it cool. Hi, guys. What are you guys doing here? Are you? Well, listen. I have glasses. I got to play by the rules. I can only give it to you if you know the password. Do you know the password? Marmot! How'd you know? Marmot. Are you afraid of the camera over there?
I'm not a great camera person.
I'm a terrible camera person. I'm shocked they keep putting me in front of it. We're at Chadle. I guess this is kind of what being a celebrity feels like. All these people are here to see me, and it's me, not the glasses.
You're my very first person.
I'm the first follow?
Yeah. I don't know how it works. But
okay. Just me first.
Yes.
And then just when you get around to it, maybe Nadine, maybe Chris Crocker.
No way.
The boss is making us, no, you can still get him. You just have to follow us to Manitou Park. Got 13 left, and I feel like we have a follower. What's up, buddy?
He called in sick to work. And he only works at Costco with like a couple thousand people.
You called in sick to work?
Yeah. We're going on vacation tomorrow.
What's your name?
Bob.
We'll blur it. Bob. we got the budget. We can blur you out. Do you guys know what the eclipse is? No? Are you excited for it either way? That's pretty much how I am. I have no idea what it is, but I'm stoked for it. You guys want a couple of glasses? You do?
What do you say?
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Nadine, that's just a sample of people we talked to today. And again, our apologies if you went out to meet us and we missed you. Again, we're just 3 days away from the eclipse. If we happen to find any more of these bad boys in the office in the next 3 days, I promise we'll give them away. For now, reporting from the South Hill, Jack Ferris, KXLY 4 News.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. We need to scour this place, see if we can come up with any more, but good job out there, Jack. Well, small towns and cities across the country, they are bracing for an influx of visitors. ABC's Maggie Rulli is in Charleston. That's the last city in the eclipse's path.
seeing one is truly a life-changing experience.
It's coming, and Americans are getting ready.
It's all hands-on deck enforcement strategies and, patrol or deployment strategies. So, we're kind of throwing everything at it.
This Monday, the Great American Eclipse will sweep across the U.S., the first of its kind in 38 years. And millions of people are beginning to descend on the handfuls of cities lucky enough to be in its path.
The 7 million people who will be traveling to see the eclipse across 12 states will definitely be going into towns and different areas that are not accustomed to seeing this influx of people.
The lines of traffic are already hours long in Prineville, Oregon. The state's expected to see 1 million visitors. In Portland, the airport's already rented out 17,000 cars and SUVs for the big event. That's what they normally do over a whole week. In Blairsville, Georgia, they're expecting 200% more people than actually live in the town.
There's no reason to panic. We just need to enjoy this event.
Some cities are getting ready for numbers so large, they're preemptively declaring a state of disaster.
Police department in a certain area is overwhelmed and they need us to come help set up traffic control checkpoints. We're ready to do that.
Just in case, the Red Cross will be in place all along the eclipse zone, ready to help out. And here in Charleston, city officials say they're expecting to double the city's population in just a single day. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Charleston, South Carolina.
Wow. Well, a local doctor says that she's been getting calls nonstop from parents afraid to let their children outside during the eclipse. KXLY4's Caroline Flynn working for you. Caroline, some camps even choosing to keep kids indoors during this event.
One mother was told that if her child did not have these Eclipse glasses, he could not come to his sports camp on Monday. The calls are upsetting to Dr. Nye with Northwest Pediatric Ophthalmology, as she feels the Eclipse is an unbelievable learning opportunity for kids, and they don't need glasses to get outside and enjoy it. Using a colander or even your own 2 hands can help you to see the eclipse in a different way.
And on the ground there, you can look at where the light is filtering through the fingers. Every one of those spots, you will see a tiny little eclipse. Go outside and just experience it. So it's going to get dark. The temperature will drop a little bit. It's possible, like at twilight, when you see a few stars in the sky, we may see some stars. Street lights might come on.
Mobius Spokane will be holding a viewing party at the Gathering Place for kids and families on Monday. Starting at 9, they'll have tons of eclipse-themed crafts and will even help those without shades to make pinhole eclipse viewers. Now, if you haven't gotten your hands on a pair of these eclipse glasses, you may have one more shot. Mobius is going to be giving away pairs to the first 200 people in line on Monday at 9 a.m., but you might want to get to the Gathering Place a little bit earlier. Live from the Gathering Place, Caroline Flynn, KXLY4 News.
All right, thanks so much, Caroline. And our KXLY4 Eclipse crew make it caught up in all that traffic. Chris Crocker and Caroline Rourke will be covering the big event from Baker City, Oregon. Follow them on social media and be sure to tune in on Monday for coverage of the historic event. So what?
Well, we're less than 2 days away from the solar eclipse everyone's waiting for. KXLY4's chief meteorologist Chris Crocker and her sidekick Caroline Rourke down in Baker City, Oregon, hanging out there until Monday for you. They left early this morning from the KXLY station parking lot, and check this out. If you're going to see the eclipse, you might as well go in style and as comfortable as you possibly can be. Look at the size of that RV they took down there. Chris and Caroline, how's it going down there so far? I hear traffic wasn't all that bad.
It was actually shockingly quiet on the drive down. And look behind us. We are early for the party. We have not encountered any of the throngs of eclipse viewers that we've been hearing about in other parts of Oregon. It was an easy 4-hour and 45-minute drive. We've got space here at the RV park if you want to dry land camp.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And a great place to watch the eclipse in totality, worth the drive.
Yes, and a comfortable drive, as you saw there, our giant RV. This is Camp KXLY, as Chief Photog Brian Belanger has entitled it. We had a luxurious ride down here in this big RV. There's a couch, there's a chair, there's beds, there's everything you could possibly ask for. We are so stoked to have fun this weekend here in Baker City.
Yes, and Northwest RV and Boat.
Northwest Boat, or yes.
Boat and they have boats and RVs supplying us with this trailer.
You.
Spokane Eye Clinic sponsoring our our coverage. It really, if you're on the fence about whether or not you want to bother making the drive down into the eclipse totality, I encourage you to do it. It will be worth it. And again, we have not had any of the problems. And the most shocking thing, when we pulled into town, the stores have
eclipse glasses
for $2.
They're everywhere.
$2. So, boy, I think some people might drive down just to get the eclipse glasses.
I wouldn't if I was here.
We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're sharing the experience with you of this big party. Come join us. We got an open spot right next to us. Here, there's 15 acres of dryland camping at A-Frame RV.
Yeah.
And good times here.
Yeah, we'll be here. Check in with us tomorrow, Casey.
I love it, ladies. Thank you. I imagine things will get a little bit busier down there as the weekend goes on. Thanks so much. Well, we're just under 24 hours away from the solar eclipse, and we're pretty excited here. We should have a great viewing experience up here in Spokane, but if our crews down in Oregon have learned anything this weekend, it's this.
Down here, it's all about the totality. You gotta be in totality.
We can hardly wait to hear all of those stories. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm KXLY. We're on top of it here at KXLY4 News. We have Eclipse team coverage all weekend long and, of course, on Monday for the big event. KXLY4's chief meteorologist Chris Crocker and Caroline Rourke are down in Baker City, Oregon right now, where they'll be in the path of full totality. And our Kyle Simchuk, a little closer to home, out on Indiana Avenue with a fun promotion one business is running to capitalize on the eclipse. First, let's start with Chris and Caroline. The two of you seem to be having a pretty good time down there in Baker City.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Although we are still fairly lonely, the crowds have just not materialized here in this part of the path of totality, which is really surprising considering the forecast for Baker City. And it's going to be a great place to view the eclipse. And that is why photographers have gathered here from all over the Northwest, actually the Western United States, trying to get that perfect shot of the eclipse, including some photographers that we featured on KXLY that are from Spokane. I visited them with this morning and found they are leaving nothing to chance.
We just get excited about this kind of stuff. This is what we live for.
And that's why renowned landscape photographer Gary Randall has gathered photographers from around the western U.S. at the Dead Ox Ranch outside of Baker City. They've been practicing and preparing to capture images of the eclipse and that precious minute of totality.
We went through this morning and went through a routine where everything's timed out, so we are regimented and we're structured, so when the time comes, we know just what to do.
We got all these cameras and lenses and tripods and gear. It's just, between everybody here, it's probably worth more than all the vehicles they came in, so yeah.
Josh Burdick, his dad Ron, and his son Jacob made the drive from Spokane with 6 different cameras, an app to guide them through totality, and high expectations of the pictures worth 1,000 words.
That way we got it to always look back on and get all 3 generations being able to see all the same thing. That'll be fun.
The pictures will no doubt be amazing, but Spokane photographer Alan Birdsell says there's something else important to remember about tomorrow's eclipse.
You know, take a minute to stop and enjoy everything.
And with all that fancy camera equipment, the most important piece of equipment is the solar filter for the cameras.
Oh, yeah.
They tell me that if you try to take a picture of the sun, you can burn out your camera in a matter of seconds. Better yet, I will be posting some of their pictures on my Facebook page, and I have a link to their big party on my Facebook page right now, so you can enjoy their pictures and enjoy the eclipse.
I cannot wait to see those. They're going to be so good. I bet. Oh my gosh! And it's funny that that they said actually the same exact thing that the folks that I talked to today said about enjoying the eclipse in that moment. While Chris was hanging out with the photographers, I got to go into downtown Baker City, which is awesome. I got to learn so much about the eclipse, about the history of this area, and I have to tell you, I mean, I know there's a whole cross-continental band where you can watch and see and experience full totality, but I think we picked just the perfect spot.
Baker County, Oregon's open spaces and skies make it a pretty good spot to catch a major astronomical event.
But the nice thing is you'll have a really great view just about anywhere here in the valley floor as well.
So good that the county's population of 16,000 is expected to temporarily double this weekend.
And we're probably going to be about 35,000 people countywide.
Come for the eclipse, stay for a tour of Baker City's small historic downtown.
So we had 2 opera houses here. This is where you got your French dress from Paris and all of that. So this hotel, when you understand that past, this hotel makes sense that it's here.
The Geyser Grand Hotel opened in 1889. 19 years before the last cross-continental solar eclipse made Baker City famous as the Naval Observatory's viewing spot of choice. The hotel has been preparing for this one for a while now.
Over 3.5 years ago, a guy came to the front desk wearing some kind of Eclipse t-shirt, and he says, "You don't know what's going to be happening to you, let me tell you."
They've been completely booked for 2.5 years.
This is the biggest tourism event of the century. That's it. I mean, no question about it.
There is an effect called shadow bands.
To get their guests prepared, they brought in the pros. Larry Crumpler and his wife Jane are space scientists. They came to Baker City from New Mexico to talk totality viewing, timing, and photography.
It's really unusual lighting, and it's just a strange, eerie sort of thing.
Having seen several eclipses before, including one total, they would know. But their best piece of advice:
stand there and look at it. Don't try to take pictures, and don't try to, capture the experience, because you can't.
We will keep that in mind tomorrow. I got to tell you, the best part about this town is the amount of Eclipse merchandise. There's like a brew pub has customized glasses. Yeah. There's like a buy a shirt, get a free pair of glasses deal. There's so much fun stuff going on.
So we're going shopping after this.
Yes, there's so much fun stuff going on in Baker City. But of course, there's fun stuff going on in Spokane. That's where our Kyle Simchuk is. I hear there's a pretty sweet Eclipse themed deal going on up there. Kyle, tell us about that.
Well, I am backstage like a kid in a candy store at the Krispy Kreme here in Spokane Valley, where Eclipse fever has arrived. Take a look at these donuts. They're going dark in celebration of the eclipse. Krispy Kreme is swapping out their original glaze for a chocolate one, and these are very rare. They have never ever done this before, and employees say they are flying off the shelf. Customers, we saw a lot earlier waiting in line. There's some more showing up here right now. And you can get a taste of these delicious and incredibly rare donuts until 5:30 tonight. They're going to stop making them, and then whatever's left back on the shelf, they'll serve to the public. They'll also be available all day tomorrow. But guys, I have 2 here. Thank you, Megan. I have 2 here. I know the solar eclipse glasses are in high demand, but I don't think I would recommend these for the solar eclipse glasses, but they're delicious to eat, so why not? Casey?
Kyle, I love it, and I love the hat. Thank you so much. Talk about Eclipse Mania.
KXLY 4 News coverage of the solar eclipse is brought to you by Spokane Eye Clinic.
All right, today is the big day. We are now just hours away from that total solar eclipse.
And KXLY 4 has total eclipse coverage live from Baker City, Oregon. That is where our Chris Crocker and Caroline Rourke are live this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's very quiet here at Camp KXLY. Our fellow Eclipse viewers are sleeping soundly.
We're trying not to wake him up too much, but we're just so excited about all this stuff that's going on today. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we are in the path of totality, where we will see a total solar eclipse here at 9:24. Totality only lasting a little more than a minute, but it is expected to be a magical minute.
It is. And you know what I think is pretty magical is this city, is Baker City. We have gotten to spend, not too much time exploring because we've been working and doing stories, but I got to head into downtown Baker City yesterday, which, oh my gosh, you guys, it's just the cutest, most fun little town. It's this, it was a cultural center. It's a former gold rush town from this area. It was really this big cultural center, and most of its historic downtown actually remains intact, including the Geyser Grand Hotel, which is where we went yesterday. It was built in 1889, which I learned was actually, that's 19 years before the last
eclipse to completely cross the country, and the United States Naval Observatory actually based their observation here in Baker City. So this is not this very small town's first major eclipse, which is kind of fun. So we have, just had a blast here in Baker City, and understandably, because it's this great little town, the Geyser Grand, which is a very popular hotel normally, has been preparing for this event for quite some time now.
Yet the crowds are not here. It has been pretty quiet here in Baker City, hasn't it?
Over 3.5 years ago, a guy came to the front desk wearing some kind of Eclipse t-shirt, and he says, "You don't know what's going to be happening to you, let me tell you."
How funny is that? I think that's fantastic. I think she told me he was wearing some Eclipse t-shirt and was super excited. He's an Eclipse chaser. That's what she called him. These folks that have been there, and all of their rooms for this weekend were booked from about a year after that encounter. So they've been completely booked for like 2.5 years here in Baker City. But it's funny. It doesn't feel very crowded here. They're expecting, I think, about 35,000 people to be here, which per a 2015 census, Baker County's population is about 16,000. So that's more than double the folks that they usually have here, which is crazy. And they actually expected 50,000 people, so I think that's why we're not, kind of feeling that claustrophobia there. But it's great. It's a great place to be.
Most of the people we are meeting, too, are News 4 viewers.
Yes. Oh, no, it's amazing. So many folks that we talked to yesterday have come down since seeing the reports that we've been doing about how there's nobody here. They're like, well, we'll just hop in and go to Baker City. It's a great place to be. And we can't wait to bring you guys more updates throughout the morning. Derek and Robin.
All right, we are looking forward to it. We'll be live with Jack Ferris in Coeur d'Alene with more eclipse coverage a little bit later as well. All right, if you're looking to experience the Great American Eclipse this morning with a group, well, you also have options.
You do. One option is a cruise on Lake Coeur d'Alene, and that is where our Jack Ferris is this morning with a preview of their viewing party.
That's right, Robin, and I'm going to address you guys for this hit with my glasses off because I'm told I was staring off into space with my glasses on. Pretty tough to see when it's dark out. Well, it's pretty tough to see any time of day, Callie King. You would know, Callie, because you guys have almost about 1,500 glasses you ordered. And take me through the process of a couple of months ago when you started with cruises and you moved on because that was so popular.
Yeah, we didn't think that the boats would sell as good as they did, so we started with just one boat. And when those tickets sold, we decided to do a second boat, and then soon enough we had all 5 boats going. So once we had 800 seats, we knew we needed to get 800 glasses, but we thought if those were so popular, let's order some extra glasses just in case we pull out.
Smart move.
So then we decided to do our brunch on the terrace, which sold out at $325, but luckily we had enough glasses for that. So we planned ahead months ago just to be ready for it.
So you're sold out for the cruises, you're sold out for the brunch, but people can still come down and party if they want to.
Exactly. So it's going to be ages 21 and up can go to Whispers Lounge, which is going to be our lounge on the lobby level of the resort. But it's going to be a mimosa party out on the patio. So it's BYOG, bring your own glasses, but you can order mimosas, Bloody Marys, you name it. It's going to be a good time.
I'll take BYOG over BYOB. Yeah. Now, her name's Callie King. She is the Director of Social Media Services here at the resort. And Callie, on Friday, I have to admit something.
Oh, let's hear it.
I came into work and the station had found like 150 extra glasses, and my job was to give them out all day.
Ooh.
And so I texted my friends like, hey, how many you need? Like, I'm definitely going to have stores. I had to stiff all of my friends because I gave them all away in like an hour. Did you ever think about stashing a few and making some bucks?
I wish we would have. I think like months ago when we were ordering them, when they were super cheap at the time, I think we should have bought a few extras. That way we could hand them out or surprise people with them. But now they're a hot commodity. Like, we don't tell anybody if we have a few extras in our pockets because people want them.
I made people upset in a big way on Friday.
Definitely.
Robin and Derek, much more to come here on Lake Coeur d'Alene. So many options to view the eclipse. It's coming up in just a matter of hours. For now, reporting from Lake Coeur d'Alene, Jack Ferris, KXLY 4 News.
Caroline Rourke and Chris Crocker joining us once again live from Baker City, Oregon. And you could talk to a couple who qualify as local experts in all things eclipse, right?
Yes.
Caroline did, yes. And they weren't local. Where did they
They're from New Mexico, but they are, for this weekend, they are the Baker City resident experts.
They came all the way from New Mexico. They work at a museum of like natural history there in Albuquerque. And yeah, they're these great space scientists. That's their term, not mine. They are actually geologists who also, really study space, but especially study volcanoes. So they've just got all of the cool science stuff going on, from space to the erupting mountains. That must have been fun to study, I bet. And they are here. Larry Crumpler and his wife Jane. They came again all the way up from New Mexico to talk to folks. They gave these great presentations down at the Geyser Grand Hotel, which we told you about earlier, over like brunch and dinner on Saturday and Sunday. They gave these big presentations about, hey, here's what you need to know about the eclipse. They did talk about safety for viewing. They talked about, this really finite timing of totality here in Baker City, and, the best way to look at that. And these folks have actually seen several eclipses, Larry has, including one total eclipse before. But here is his best advice.
Stand there and look at it. Don't try to take pictures, and don't try to, capture the experience, because you can't.
That, I think, Chris, is my biggest conflict with all this. These poor folks at the A-Frame RV Park here in Baker City are going to be so excited to watch this minute and 34 seconds or whatever it is, and I'm going to be there with a camera in their face like, hey, tell me how you feel. You want to get that moment, but you're also like, you just want to look at it. So I think, there's enough to do both. Get some photos, get some, video of that, but also really just take in this incredibly major astronomical event.
And know that there are professional photographers taking pictures you could. And one quick word of advice, don't try to take a picture of the eclipse without a solar filter, because you can burn out your camera in just a matter of seconds. Steady stream now of folks coming down I-84 into Baker City and the path of totality. I know it's been pretty quiet.
Headlight.
But now people are in the eclipse spirit here in Baker City.
Yes, and that's actually what we spoke to the director of tourism yesterday, and he said the same thing. He says, I think people are going to come Monday morning. They've got so much stuff planned, and we have more on that coming up in the next half hour. But for now, we will send it back to you, Robin and Derek.
It's such an exciting time. And while we may not be in the path of totality right here, there are still plenty of watch party options around the area.
Yeah, Eclipse viewers will be gathering from Bruce Field and Cheney out to the Coeur d'Alene Resort. Our Jack Ferris joins us live from the Lake City this morning with a preview of the big party at the resort.
That's right, Derek. There's plenty of options the resort has for Eclipse party goers, or the people who just want to be a part of the party. One thing you cannot do unless you have a ticket is cruise around with this man, Captain Carl Fuss. 800 tickets sold. And Carl, over 25 years of experience cruising around on the lake, you've done a lot of things. I'm willing to bet this is your first Eclipse cruise. Got to be pretty exciting.
That's right, it is.
The resume's filling out. You get to check that box now.
That's right.
Now, Carl, the idea first came about a couple of months ago. Did you have any idea how popular this thing would be?
No, we had no idea it would be so popular. So, we sold out the boats in just a couple of days, and looking forward to doing it again next year.
And if you've never been out to Lake Coeur d'Alene, these aren't your typical boats. These are barges. These things are huge. How many people does the current boat we're on hold?
350.
350. This is the biggest one.
That's right.
They have, I'm looking at there's 5 of them, so 800 people cruising around on the lake. What's the route you got in mind for the people?
We're going to be departing Independence Point at 9:30, and then we'll cruise past the resort, past Tubbs Hill, and then past the resort golf course and floating green, and we'll go out towards Wolf Lodge Bay, where we'll have some nice sheltered, calm water and still a good view of the south.
So everyone who was lucky enough to get tickets ahead of time on the cruises are going to be equipped with glasses. Do they get glasses for you, or are you allowed to look up? Eyes on the road, eyes on the lake for you?
That's right. I'll be paying attention to all the navigational beacons.
Just keep it between the navigational beacons. Is that Jimmy Buffett? Guys, for a complete list of all activities you can get your hands on and get involved with, don't hesitate to log on to KXLY.com. For now, reporting from Lake Coeur d'Alene, Jack Ferris, KXLY 4 News.
We're going to go back out live to Chris Crocker and Caroline Rourke in Baker City, Oregon with some special guests.
Yes, I think you could call this Spokane South down here in Baker City. So many KXLY viewers just in our campground, including Gavin and London. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you guys?
Good.
We are fired up for the eclipse. Now, London was telling me what happens during the eclipse.
The moon covers the sun.
Yes, that is exactly what's going to happen here. Gavin, is your family excited about the eclipse?
Yeah, my Uncle Nick said it was going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see the total eclipse.
Absolutely. Once in a lifetime opportunity. That's why we're down here in the path of totality in Baker City. It's so exciting, Caroline.
It is. It absolutely is. And these, lovely, lovely gals that we've had so much fun hanging out with last night and this morning are really two of these 35,000 people that are expected to be here. It's just the crowds, kind of coming in. We've seen that traffic coming in. We're lucky we staked out our spots early, right? Yeah, they've been here. How long have you guys been here?
We've been here for 2 nights.
2 nights, yeah. So
2 nights.
2 nights, like a little camping trip, huh?
Yeah.
It's just, you came early, you got your spot staked out, but we've definitely seen some folks coming in as the morning goes on, and we're very excited to see it all happen here.
And the campground is just waking up. We've been up for a while with Good Morning Northwest, and now that the sun is coming up, it is crystal clear.
Yeah.
Perfect eclipse
It's perfect.
viewing weather.
A little chilly, right? A little cold.
Yes, we're going to go hop in Camp KXLY RV.
Yes.
And we'll have more throughout the morning. Derek and Robin?
I got some pretty cushy digs there. You guys enjoy. We'll see you in a little bit.
After weeks of anticipation, today was the big day, the Great American Eclipse. Take a look at this time lapse we shot from our rooftop. People across the solar eclipse's path watched in awe as Mother Nature showed off. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Nadine Woodward. We have team coverage of all things eclipse this evening, starting with KXLY4's Caroline Rourke. She and Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker traveled to Oregon to witness the event in totality.
It was quiet when the sun rose over Baker City, Oregon this morning, but not for long. The traffic we've heard so much about finally here as travelers poured in, eclipse glasses in hand, to wait.
I've been an astronomy nut since I was a little kid, and this is a big deal.
I planted the seed in his mind months ago. I said, I like to come and see the eclipse. So he built the trip around that.
They didn't have to wait long.
Look at that. Look at that.
I see that the moon has just touched the outer edge of the sun at about 1 o'clock.
The biggest astronomical event of this century arrived right on time. Just past 9 o'clock, the first contact.
It's growing.
Do you see a piece of the moon?
Yes.
My brother.
The sun looks like the moon.
I don't know if I'm imagining it, but I feel like I can watch it moving now. You know what I mean?
The thinner the crescent,
Less than 15 now.
the lower the temperature,
10 minutes.
the darker the skies,
60 seconds.
meant 1 minute closer to this.
Oh my goodness.
Wow!
Diamond ring.
Whoa!
For 90 magical seconds, the glasses came off, and we stared directly at the sun.
Oh my word, look at that. Look at how dark it is.
Wow!
But as quickly as it started, it was over.
That's so cool.
And though few people took pictures, that minute and a half is something they're not likely to forget.
It's going to go in the memory banks instead of in the film.
It happened so quickly that we didn't want totality to be over because it was so cool, but luckily for us, we still have about another hour of partial eclipse activity here in Baker City, which we're looking at through our cameras, through our glasses, even our pinhole viewers for some of these folks here at the RV park. So we're just going to keep on enjoying it. Reporting from Baker City, Oregon, Caroline Rourke, KXLY4 News.
Very cool. Well, Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker met dozens of KXLY4 News viewers in Baker City for that total eclipse, including 2 of her favorite photographers.
The total eclipse is over here in Baker City, and everybody is driving home, including 2 local photographers whose shutters were surprisingly quiet during totality.
It's still there.
Photographer Donald Sewell of Spokane and viewer Gordon Glassby of Clarkston Heights have been sending me pictures to feature on the news for years. They say they did take a few shots of the eclipse, but some of their favorite pictures are of the reactions of the people.
Because it reminded me of the old 50s three-dimensional glasses, you know, that they used to wear, and everybody's kind of looking at it.
The people shots were fun too. That's, you know, because nobody was rowdy. They were all just very well behaved and just happy to be here, just like we are.
I didn't take any pictures either, but during that life-changing minute and a half of totality, I was completely present, and I will remember that sight for the rest of my life. Reporting from Baker City, Oregon, I'm Chris Crocker, KXLY 4 News.
Well, more than 500 people took part in the Eclipse viewing party at Mobius Science Center. That's where our Caroline Flynn was all morning long. And Caroline, I understand they ran out of glasses there before the event even started.
That's right. When we got here just before the event started at 9, the line was wrapped around City Hall, and that was after they let the first 200 people in who scored those coveted glasses.
So, like, the moon is, like, in a crescent shape. It's, like, in a side.
Madison Marker has her grandma to thank for her last-minute pair of glasses. She waited in line since 7:30 this morning with the crowds to grab a pair.
No, like, literally, it's, like, yellow and like a banana. Like, literally.
It didn't matter if you had the coveted glasses at this party, though. Something that surprised even the hosts, given the amount of phone calls they received this week from people hoping to get their hands on the shades.
We really thought that we would give away all of our 200 complimentary glasses, but we didn't know people would be so willing to share their glasses and use the pinhole viewers.
Dozens of kids had their backs turned to the main event to make some solar-themed crafts like moon rocks and sun necklaces.
We got here like 20 minutes too late, but we got to make one, so we get to watch anyway.
Tara Hill and her daughter made a pinhole viewer and enjoyed the show on paper.
At first, I thought our hole was just crooked. I thought we made it wrong, and I was like, no, there's something in front of the sun.
The Gaines family, though, came extra prepared, making several Eclipse viewers out of cereal boxes and purchasing glasses in Oregon last week.
You put it near, and then you have to move it where the sun is near.
So we just followed the instructions on YouTube and cut out the box there and put some foil over it, and they enjoyed using them last night. We practiced last night with them to see how it worked.
And the Gaines brothers told me that they preferred watching the solar eclipse from those cereal boxes over the glasses. Live from Mobius Science Center, Caroline Flynn, KXLY 4 News.
All right, thank you so much, Caroline.
Well, like the moon across the sun, Eclipse 2017 came and went in the inland Northwest Monday. And for 800 people on Lake Coeur d'Alene, it was a day to remember thanks to Lake Coeur d'Alene Cruises. Is this one of your best eclipses?
Yeah, best ever.
Debbie, what was your favorite part of the eclipse today?
The corona.
What was your favorite part of the eclipse?
The favorite part, just watching it go down through the glasses was kind of a unique experience.
Mine was the 2 years of build-up. Eclipse make people want to tip a little bit more?
No, not really.
Maybe the moon blocked their way to the tip jar. What's your favorite song to do with an eclipse?
Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler.
That's a no-brainer. Can you name another eclipse song?
Ooh.
Ladies, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you grade the Great American Eclipse?
7.
7.
100? 10. 13.
13. Solid number. Did you get a chance to look at the eclipse?
Yeah, we were able to see it.
That was a trick question. You were supposed to keep your eyes on the lake the entire time.
That's true, I was.
How does this one stack up to the eclipse of 79?
I don't know.
Were you at work that day?
Yes.
How does this stack up to the eclipse of 79?
The 70s are a blur.
I figured as much. Debbie? So while we didn't get plunged into total darkness, at least now we have the memories and the glasses to remember Eclipse 2017. Reporting from Lake Coeur d'Alene, Jack Ferris, KXLY 4 News.
Man, he had a tough assignment today.
He always...
Not at all. You're right about that. Our Hawk Hammer working for you today with how thousands in Cheney enjoyed an eclipse and a bit of football.
Out
out here in Cheney at Eastern Washington University. It was to a crowd of thousands that the moon passed in front of the sun.
Everybody here in one place experiencing the same thing at the same time, it gives you kind of little tingles.
And even as the crowds were peering through their assortment of solar eclipse glasses, makeshift camera lenses, and pinhole viewers,
a lot of families, a lot of students, a lot of just people who wanted to see the sun get blocked out.
When they wanted to take a break and come back down to earth, they were treated to a bit of a sneak preview of their hometown football team.
What a better place to be than with the rest of Cheney, watching football, taking photos, and chatting with friends.
The team, though, taking no time off to look up, taking the opportunity instead to look forward.
If you're worried about an eclipse or, distracted about the eclipse when you're trying to do a drill, then maybe we need to reel you back in.
And take advantage of the crowds, something they don't typically get preseason.
We need to say there's an eclipse for every scrimmage or something, huh?
And though the practice got a little dimmer than usual, players took it in stride after an early morning warning from their coaches not to look up.
All those kids can say maybe to their kids that, hey, one of my college practices, I practice under eclipse.
Not a bad way to spend the day. In Cheney, I'm Hawkhammer, KXLY4 News.